And so away we go. Portsmouth, the home side, in their preferred strip of blue, shooting from left to right. Hannah Cohen trying to manoeuvre the ball down the left-hand side and winning a throw-in for her team to try and gain some traction on that far side. Looks like Portsmouth lining up in a back five, which they often do when they play against the bigger, more established teams in the league. They're going to line up in a four. Sophie Barker will sit in the midfield. Jessie Gale is under the high ball, but it's loose. It's easily dealt with by Charlotte Wardlaw. Newcastle can swiftly move the ball from right to left and gain ground up the left-hand side with their skipper Demi Stokes. A multitude of international experience, 60-plus caps for the England Lionesses. Made the pass inside, was looking for the run of Lumsden. Cohen with the back pass, and early test for Jess Gray under pressure from Shania Hales. Newcastle pressing high up the field. Greta Humphreys has rolled the ball back and put her goalkeeper under a real spot of pressure from Hales. And, well, Gray will not thank her for that. Had to come out on the slide. Well, that was an opportunity for the Jamaican. Weak back pass, she was closing in on Jess Gray. Back between the sticks, Comfort Harbour was the goalkeeper for the 1-1 draw with Charlton. The only game of the season that Gray has missed in the league for Portsmouth. This is Tia Primmer playing as the left wing back. Through ball intercepted, and it is a Newcastle United throw. Wardlaw will take, right in front of the dugouts. Has been a really impressive few weeks for the visiting side. Becky Langley left the club after, well, a stellar stint in charge, it has to be said. Oversaw 2 promotions. We'll come back to that because Hales is into the box, cutting the ball back, looking for Pike. And it needed Cohen to put the boot through it. Portsmouth trying to waste no chance, no time in turning defence into attack. Primmer with the probing pass, but Gale caught flat-footed, and it's all the way through to Tamminen, the Finn in the Newcastle goal. So Becky Langley left the club, had led Newcastle to a couple of promotions. They were 9th in the table when her time in the Northeast came to an end. And then had a month looking for a new boss, and Tanya Oxtoby left her role with Northern Ireland to come in and has settled in very, very quickly, as have Newcastle here, with the opportunity down the right with Savenius, and the shot is goal bound. Just wide of the upright. First couple of attacks have come from the team in green, who will be well aware, and I'm sure you are at home, that there are 2 teams automatically promoted from WSL2 this season. A third team will contest the promotion playoff. So the team finishing in 3rd will have a one-off meeting with the team finishing bottom of the top flight. And the winner of that will take up residence in the expanded from next season WSL1. Full puffer coat for Oxtoby today. It is cold, but the conditions are better than Portsmouth's last home game when it was absolutely hosing down. Jazz Bull trying to create space down this right-hand side. She's won a throw. So Humphreys will come across. She does have the option of delivering a throw-in into the box. Rowbotham is short. So too is Woolley. Gives it straight back to her. Nice triangles. Sophie Barker. Bull with the trickery. It'll be another throw. Ball ricocheting out off Lumsden. It's a little loose from the throw-in, and Stokes puts everything behind it to get it clear. Only as far as Humphreys. And Bull's attempted through ball is too long for Barker. And Newcastle will have a defensive throw-in. Interesting to hear from Tanya Oxtoby pre-match, speaking to our reporter Millie Payne. She says there's been a really positive energy around the Lasses camp. 2 wins, 2 clean sheets in her time in charge of the Magpies. And you can see some of that confidence and optimism just oozing through the way that they're playing. Pike getting the cross into the middle, only half dealt with by Cohen. Portsmouth have put in performances that go against their fairly lowly position in WSL 2. Last time out, holding Charlton, the leaders, to a 1-1 draw. Demi Stokes fizzes the cross in. Only half cleared. Could well fall for Joel. Joel gets the shot away, but it's blocked. Now Lumsden, closed down really well by Gale. All hands on deck for Portsmouth. Lovely football between Stokes and Lumsden, and the cross comes in and the shot is over the top. Jordan Nobbs finding space, as she has done in all of her career, with England, with Arsenal, with Aston Villa. Showed her goal threat against Southampton last time out. It's wonderful football in the build-up. 8 yards out with a clean eye on goal. No wonder she put her head in her hands. Best chance of the match has gone to Newcastle United. Indeed, the first 3 chances of the match have gone to the team in green. Newcastle finished 5th in the 11-team season last year. Their first in WSL 2. Gray has had to come out of her box to get the ball away. Rowbotham hooks the ball forward, but every time Portsmouth try to clear their lines, it lands at the foot or the head of one of their opponents in green. Aoife Mannion, also one of those players with experience playing in the top division. Ireland international. Smart work from Hornby to keep possession for Portsmouth. Wardlaw helps it on its way. Ditto Jordan Nobbs. As soon as Newcastle lose the ball, they swarm the Portsmouth players, attempting to force the mistake high up the field. Molly Pike with the neat trickery. Spreading the play out to the right-hand side with Savenius, who's got support from Wardlaw. A decent-looking cross is too deep for everybody. Pike trying to rescue it. And once again, Portsmouth have been caught on the ball, deep in their own territory. Bull takes no chances. And Jessie Gale is penalised for a handball. Game plan clear for everyone to see here for Tanya Oxtoby and Newcastle United. They are not giving Portsmouth a beat here. First 10 minutes has been fast-paced. Wardlaw picking out Nobbs, who is sitting high up in that midfield for Newcastle. Lumsden wins a corner off the boot of Bull. So first corner of the match. And Newcastle can send Deanna Cooper up. Nobbs wants it short on the edge of the box. Sent into the box high, and it was Charlotte Wardlaw under it. And just got under it. Off the top of the forehead and over the top of the goal. Quick look at the bookmakers before this game. One or two of them had Portsmouth as 7-1 outsiders to win a match. 3-horse race, win, lose or draw. Long odds indeed, but the way that the game has started, the pattern of play, maybe they knew something that I don't. Primmer pressured by Sevenius and still. And pressured into tumbling out of play. Throwing the ball so that the Finn couldn't get it, but there was another one knocked off the cone. And it didn't exactly delay Newcastle United in trying to do what they're aiming to do. Sevenius leaves it for Wardlaw. Straight into the feet of Hales, who is strong under pressure from Cohen. High cross is easy for Gray, who claims cleanly. Hornby was closing in on that one. Mannion took no chances. Flick-on was looking for Barker. Oh, casual turn from Cooper just to turn away from trouble. Paid off for her. Portsmouth almost caught out at the opposite end of the field doing exactly that in the first couple of minutes. Was there a hand in there? Yes, there was. Hales penalised. These sides had mixed fortunes in the FA Cup last week, as we see another look at the Shania Hales handball on halfway. Portsmouth knocked out of the Women's FA Cup 2-0 against Bristol City. Newcastle had a much more straightforward afternoon against non-league Liverpool Feds. A 4-0 victory in that one, as Portsmouth win their first corner of the game. Already mentioned that Georgie Freeland is not here today. Set-piece maestro in the Portsmouth lineup, and has actually scored direct from 2 corners this season. And so instead, Sophie Barker will provide the delivery. It's a high one, dropping it right on the edge of the 6-yard area. First head was a Newcastle head, and then the goal-bound strike was barely goal-bound. And someone is going to find a match ball in their front garden. One of the perks of living next to a football stadium. Just in time for Christmas. Jazz Bull can advance. Has Gale in support. Needs a little bit of help herself here. Got it from Rowbotham. The ball bouncing around like bagatelle. Gale hits the deck. Play on, says the referee. Portsmouth screaming to Amy Fern that they were dealt with unjustly there. But play continues and Newcastle players stream forward. Really nicely worked. Lovely touch and turn as well by Joel, but Cohen gets big size 9s on it, and away goes the ball from the Portsmouth area. Mannion trying to find Sevenius. Watched closely by Primmer. Lively contest so far, 15 minutes in the books. Newcastle and Tanya Oxtoby will feel that they have settled the better of the two sets of teams. Long ball over the top is looking for the run from midfield of Nobbs. And now the flag goes up. Jess Gray joined on a free in the summer after leaving Charlton last July. Signed on a one-year deal with a further one-year option. I have to say, the half-term report is good from Jess Gray. Humphreys and Robotham moving the ball nicely for Portsmouth, and Gray just caught on her heels. Ball just looked like it held up in the slightly dry-looking artificial surface. And Mannion coolly steering away from two blue shirts and guiding it back to a goalkeeper safely. Wardlaw thumps the ball forward, and Jordan Nobbs has a bit of space to manoeuvre here. First time cross. Almost caught out Gray. Well, the travelling Newcastle fans serenading Jordan Nobbs, who at the start of her career, that wouldn't have happened. Started out at their near rivals Sunderland. What a career she's gone on to have. 3 times a WSL winner with Arsenal. FA Young Player of the Year some 15 years ago. Cohen was looking for Primer, but she's put the ball straight out of play. Doing a roaring trade in balloon making, as you can see. All part of the entertainment for this one. Lois Joel loves to get her foot on the ball, and Stokes is sitting really high up as well from fullback. Lumsden with the trickery, well watched closely by Bull, and had to be. Lumsden trying to disguise the through pass with the outside of her boot. Demi Stokes gets the ball in. Hales was there, but couldn't get anything on it cleanly, and it's into the back of the net. Clean as a whistle from Jordan Nobbs. She had a sight up 10 minutes ago, and that one went over. And this time, Jordan Nobbs picks out the back of the net. It's the Old England combo. Stokes finding Nobbs, who lashes the ball into the back of the net, and Newcastle are well worth their 1-goal lead. A match winner against Southampton. If she was playing Monopoly, she could start building houses on the South Coast clubs. Goal against Southampton, goal against Portsmouth. And Nobbs steering her team into what looks like a fairly comfortable lead 20 minutes into this one. Portsmouth yet to register a shot on goal. Well worth another look. Brilliant work from Stokes, who was actually looking for Hales, but Nobbs gambled, and that gamble paid off. And here she is again. Expert trickery from the England international, flicking the ball over the Portsmouth defence, and then first time trying to feed the ball into Hales. All action start. It's so great when you see these internationals dropping down a level, it has to be said. Performing, dragging up the standards of the players around them. Newcastle have got 2. Morgan Gautrat, experienced American international. 3, Demi Stokes as well. Another free kick to Newcastle and a chance to load the box here. So Nobbs already on the score sheet now, has a chance to attempt to turn provider. Cooper's up from the back. Mannion's up from the back. Lois Joel is there too. See how closely she was scanning. Surveying the lie of the land in front of her here, Jordan Nobbs. Dummying as if to go short. And then drilling the ball straight into the wall, and Portsmouth can smash it up to halfway. But look at the endeavour of the Newcastle number 4, who, having realised the ball hadn't quite gone where she was anticipating, tracking back to try and get it back into her team's control. Lumsden pressured by Bull. Newcastle working really well to close off the passing lanes for Portsmouth. It's a high-level press that they're putting into play, high up the field. And that'll relieve a little bit of the pressure that Portsmouth's backline had been experiencing. Free kick given. Jay Sadler made the point, Portsmouth boss, that the FA Cup exit to Bristol City hasn't knocked confidence. Quite the opposite, he says. It's given them plenty to build on coming into this one. It was a 2-0 defeat. A match of moments, he said. Decisiveness at both ends of the field. Ultimately, the Robins came out on top in that one. It'll give them a little bit of room to breathe, though, not being in the cup. There'll be the odd spare game week to work on 1 or 2 things in the training ground, and the priority has to be the WSL 2 for Pompey. Only their 2nd season at this level. Indeed, both these sides already mentioned the improvement from where they were this time last year, Portsmouth. If they were to win today, and obviously from a goal down, that's looking like they would have to spin the game on its head, but if they were to win, they would have matched last season's entire season points tally. And we're not yet at halfway. Shows the steady improvement that's being made under Jay Sadler, who's served more than 7 years in charge of this club. Barker doing really well to flick the ball away from trouble, but her attempted through pass was intercepted. Humphreys just caught in possession. There's one for Hornby to chase. Once again, Mannion comes across to try and snuff that one out. Portsmouth still have it with Rowbotham. Shifting the play out to Bull. Bull loves a cross. Long ball forward is looking for the run of Hornby. And Hornby is a handful, and the first time effort is just over the top. Just caught the goalkeeper backpedaling out the corner of her eye and thought, well, worth a go. Form she's been in the last couple of months. You could hardly blame her for thinking that she's got her sights in. Scored a brilliant goal against Birmingham City last month. Lumsden finds Pike into the area, though. Strong challenge from Primmer and good strength. It's Izzy Collins with the defending, shepherding the ball out of play. At risk of conceding a penalty there, but it's just shoulder to shoulder. Good, strong defensive work and making sure her team come up with the ball. Neat passing between the lines from Pompey, but the first time through ball was looking for the run of a wing-back who was not there. Smart work from Molly Pike, keeping the ball in play. Newcastle love to have the ball. Only Nottingham Forest and Birmingham City see more of it this season in the league. Almost 60% possession they've enjoyed across the season, 10 games worth. Newcastle crowding out Robotham, and Pike from range hits the crossbar. Wonderful effort from range from the Newcastle number 10. They were hunting in packs to nick the ball off Robotham. Look at that, 2, 3 of them. And when the ball came up for Pike, Gray is no more than 3 yards off her line, but trying to pick out the back of the net. And almost coming out trumps. Plenty to scratch his head over. As the players come in for a quick drink. It's not been the best 27 minutes of Portsmouth's season. They may well have expected it, knowing how well Newcastle have played in the past few weeks. First under Claire Ditchburn, who did really well in interim charge. 3 games, 3 unbeaten. And it's continued under Tanya Oxtoby. But this is not the first time this season that Jess Gray has felt the back of her right leg. I think it was in the Birmingham game, 5-2 defeat, that she took a goal kick early in the game. And you could see throughout the rest of the match, she was laboured on that side. If it is the hamstring or the back of the knee, it's one of those injuries that you can never really shake off unless you just completely rest it. And for anybody who wants to play a game of football every 7 days, yeah, you can just see as she took that goal kick, the right side of her body just caved in a little. They do have a talented young goalkeeper in reserve in Comforter Harbour. Nigerian under 17. You would imagine, only halfway through this first half, that Jess Gray will want to play on. But Newcastle United, who've been pressing high up from the front, applying pressure to the back line, applying pressure to the goalkeeper, they will have taken notice. Free kick to Portsmouth. Southern Premier Division champions 2024 against the champions of the North in the same season. Earn them the right to play at this level. Hornby this time to deliver. In a perfect world, Georgie Freeland would be on the end of this and Meg Hornby would be much higher up the field. Portsmouth have been tested and stretched by injury this season. Lovely footwork from Collins just to nip inside and steer the ball away from trouble. Humphreys, the right centre-back, is high upfield and probing and testing Demi Stokes. And not quite winning the corner. Here she's popular, Demi Stokes. with the travelling tune. Plenty of kids in. You can see some faces painted on the left of the screen. Just in front of Charlotte Wardlaw there. Portsmouth offering kids entertainment in the 2 hours up to kick-off today. Balloon modelling, face painting. Adults for a tenner. Kids under 14, just £2. You could take a family of 4 and get change from 25. Fun way to spend the weekend before Christmas. Cohen on the spin. Only as far as Wardlaw, and Nobbs with the lovely turn. Picking out Pike, and the ball is still loose and bouncing around. Casual cool from Aoife Mannion. Long ball is controlled on the thigh by Lumsden, who just showed slightly too much of the ball to Greta Humphreys. Here's Primmer. Hornby in front of her. She's got Woolley inside. Instead goes back to Cohen. Collins and Humphreys are the two centre halves. Looks like Cohen has moved into a more natural left back position now. Drilled shot comes in, is fading away from the target, right off the face of the boot. Portsmouth yet to have a shot on target. It was Meg Hornby with the drilled cross-come shot. Long ball forward looking for Hornby, and moment of indecision from Charlotte Wardlaw. Throw into Portsmouth. Newcastle fans in full voice with the Christmas jumpers over there on the far side. They'll be delighted to know that Sunderland are currently losing at home to the bottom club Ipswich. 1-0 in that one. Rhianna Dean has got Ipswich's goal in that one. Cut adrift as they are at the bottom. The only other goals have come in the earlier kickoff. Sheffield United at home to Southampton. Simpson and Goddard have the Saints 2-0 to the good. They're currently playing the last 15 minutes of that one. Here, Newcastle lead 1-0, courtesy of Jordan Nobbs' slammed effort from 8 yards out. Savenius trying to feed the ball to Nobbs just outside her on the right-hand side, but it drifts out for a Portsmouth goal kick. Warmest coat in the South Coast, I think, that one, Tanya Oxtoby. She has big ambitions for this Newcastle team. Aim is to develop players, build on the club's ambition, and ultimately take them to the next level, which you would think has to be promotion up to the top tier. Couldn't have started much better. Woolley was searching for Primmer down the left. Aoife Mannion yet to put a foot wrong. So much experience. And that ball has been kicked by one Portsmouth player onto another, and it's out for a Newcastle throw over on that far side. Touched on the injury crisis that has engulfed Portsmouth this season. ACL injuries to the young defender Annie Hutchings, Emily Pittman, the forward, Lucy Johnson, a fullback as well. Saw Tia Young on crutches arriving at the stadium today, had surgery on a knee just last month. You may see amongst their substitutes there, though, Jazz Younger, who is the Portsmouth longest serving player, twice ruptured the same ACL. She's on the subs bench for the first time in almost a couple of years, which is great to see her on the road back after such a treacherous and torturous rehab. Back left. Made a substitute appearance in the FA Cup last week. First appearance since February 2024. And she may well be needed today. Her team on the defence again. Molly Pike has a chance to send in a corner from the right-hand side this time. Hales is up. Cooper is standing on the goalkeeper, Gray, and they've already taken it quickly. Nobbs and Savenius working the ball out on the far side. It's high, it's looping, and Hales is under it. And it's bounced out off the red socks of Hannah Cohen, I think. Corner to Newcastle. Zonal marking for Portsmouth, not picking up a player each. Plenty of movement in that box from those in green shirts. So Newcastle head first to the ball, but then it's Jazz Bull's boot that gets it away. Almost fell for Cooper, who was arriving late, but it's skewed out off the side of a boot. Cohen once again, another corner to Newcastle. Pompey feeling the pressure here. Newcastle on a really lengthy unbeaten run, aiming for a third straight win in the league. Molly Pike has been pivotal to that. And as the rain comes down on the south coast, corner comes in. Rowbotham heads the ball away. And that one's easy for Gray. And keep a keen eye on her right kicking leg. The one that has already given her a little bit of grief early in this game. That looked okay. Nice turn from Woolley. Away from two green shirts and trying to play Bull in round the back. Wardlaw, who's been playing right back throughout this game, has found herself in at left back with Demi Stokes moving ever so slightly higher up the field. Portsmouth have shifted back into a back three here. Humphreys shifting across this near right-hand side. Collins through the middle and Cohen into the left centre-back role. And you can see Jazz Bull here, the number 2, bottom of your screen. She's pushed up higher up the field into a right wing-back position. Jay Sadler clearly feeling that his team just haven't got a grip on the midfield in this game. And barely created a chance, but here they're on the defensive. Hales is in and Gray has had to come out of her area. Testing out that right hamstring with a good kick up to halfway. It's brilliant defensive work from Lumsden. And the free kick given away by Rowbotham. Right on the centre spot. Just a word for Ava Rowbotham from Amy Fern, the referee. All in black. Speaking of all in black, the Traitors returns to your TVs early next month in the UK. And when Portsmouth did a team-building exercise of the Traitors, it was Ava Rowbotham who was the traitor in the pack. Played a blinder, apparently, no one knew. I don't think Claudia Winkleman was involved. Maybe they got Amy Fern to come along, all in black, the referee. So just over 5 minutes to the break. Demi Stokes goes for the underlap. Such a threat from that left side of defence, and Lumsden's having a pop. Saw the goalkeeper off her line. Hales wanted the through ball, and Lumsden thought, maybe I can try and pick out that top corner. You can definitely see that Jess Gray is favouring short distribution. She's rolled that one out. Instead of going big with her last kick, she put the ball on the ground and passed it to a teammate. I do wonder about that right hamstring of the Portsmouth goalkeeper. I imagine the physios will take a keener look at half-time. Jordan Nobbs. We have a player down and play continues. Savenius. And the whistle has gone because temporarily Portsmouth were a woman light. And it's a head injury too. So another chance for the two coaches to call their players over. I think it's Tia Primer who is down receiving treatment. But a reminder, if you've just joined us, Newcastle have the 1-goal lead. Newcastle looking for a third straight win in a row in the WSL 2. But actually, their unbeaten streak goes back a long, long way. Victories over Southampton, an important one in the Tyne Weir derby against Sunderland. 2 goals from Emily Murphy that day. She's on the bench for Newcastle United today. 1-1 draw in the other North East derby, away at Durham. Thumping win over Ipswich, and then draws with Bristol City and Crystal Palace. Stretches Newcastle's unbeaten run to 7 games. Good to see Tia Primer is now sitting up under her own steam. Looks like she's taken a real knock, maybe to the neck, to the side of the head. And every precaution is being taken, as you would expect, with any knock to the neck or the head. And so while we wait for Tia Primer to receive the treatment, well worth reminding ourselves of how we got to this shape of the game. It was a wonderful little body swerve from Demi Stokes, fizzing the ball across, and Jordan Nobbs lashing the ball into the back of the net. Second WSL 2 game in a row that Nobbs has found the back of the net. I think she likes playing against teams from the South Coast. England legend Jordan Nobbs. Back-to-back goals in the league, 2 times PFA Team of the Year. 71 caps with England. And now, still doing it in her 30s. And look at the way it's all eyes on Jordan Nobbs. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt, got the trophies, and passing on that wisdom to a lot of players that will just be thinking, I used to watch you on the telly. Been a nervy 5 minutes for Jay Sadler. Tia Primer is still on the deck. And that's good to see. Back on her feet. Important that they took plenty of time with the health check, and that health check will continue as we head towards half-time. I think we'll see a good chunk of time added on. More fans with their balloon models in the background. And we will restart with a drop ball, a reminder that Newcastle were on the attack when Amy Fern blew the whistle to break up play with Primer down, clutching onto her head. So we'll restart with the drop ball at the boot of Una Savenius. And immediately back into the flow of play. Savenius feeding Hales. Important sliding tackle by Cohen just to get the ball away from the Newcastle forward. There is going to be a hefty chunk of time added on at the end of this first half, as you would expect. It's a half that Newcastle have dominated. It's a half that they've only managed to convert one of their many chances. Portsmouth yet to have any. And we have 6 additional minutes for either Newcastle to extend their advantage or Pompey to somehow try and find their way back level. Cooper thumps one into the boot of Lumsden, who's had a good game down this left-hand side. Lois Joel. Now Hales, who's dropped deep to try and help with the chance creation. Beth Lumsden. They call him the Mackham Slayer. 2 goals in the derby against Sunderland last season. That'll make you popular forever in the black and white half of the Northeast. That ball is loose and Woolley raced onto it, but Wardlaw has come away with it, striding forward. Savenius has Nobbs inside her. Now Mannion. Nobbs again. What an important role she's played in this first half. Stokes fizzes one into Lumsden. Lumsden strikes, and Gray had to watch it and had to gather it up. With Hales lurking. Good save at the second time of asking from the Portsmouth stopper. Hornby dispossessed by Pike unfairly, says the referee. Still plenty of time at the end of this first half. Tia Primmer is now back on after receiving treatment at the side of the pitch. You can see her over in front of the Newcastle United dugout. Portsmouth only temporarily down to 10 players. Pompey have already had one big win over a team from the Northeast, 3-2 against Sunderland. Hornby, Jess Gale scored in the 93rd minute, and then Hornby won it in the 98th. Remarkable turnaround in that game. As the free kick is given Newcastle's way. The fans that you can hear are the Newcastle fans. Enjoying their day out. Cold December Sunday. Last time they'll travel for a few weeks. Nobbs sends the high ball into the area and Gray has claimed well. And kicks long. But it's immediately picked up by Joel, and Newcastle have the opportunity to get their foot on the ball and look to build another attack from the back. Cooper. Mannion looks like she's moved into a defensive midfield position now. Wardlaw tucked into central defence, and Pike has gone across into the right back position. And Wardlaw loves to get on the ball and try and gallop upfield, but she's been caught in possession here. Portsmouth had the player advantage, but Newcastle now have women behind the ball. Yet to test the goalkeeper, Pompey, and It's not going to happen on that foray. Nobbs sends the ball forward looking for Hales, and Humphreys cuts across her. And Gray once again has to come scampering off her line. Into the final minute of the 6 we've been pledged. Rowbotham's clearance. Throw into Portsmouth. Worth pointing out that Angelina Nixon is also absent for Pompey, another one of their creative outlets in attack. Really shone since signing from non-league Rugby Borough, but unavailable today. Stevie Kennedy is among the Pompey subs, who is still just a teenager, yet to make a WSL appearance. And at the half-time break, Portsmouth have it all to do because of the goal scored by the former England international Jordan Nobbs, slamming Newcastle into the lead, her second successive WSL 2 game, finding the back of the net. And as the players make their way down the tunnel, half-time at Wesley Park, it is Portsmouth 0, Newcastle United 1. And so away we go. Start of the second half, Newcastle United with that 1-goal lead courtesy of the England international Jordan Nobbs, and Portsmouth desperately searching for a shot on target. Smart work from Izzy Collins. That ball absolutely lashed towards her by her defensive teammate Hannah Cohen, and under some pressure she did well to take the sting off it. First kick of the second half for the Pompey keeper, Jess Gray, and it's a good one to pick out Primmer. We will be keeping a keen eye on Jess Gray's right hamstring. She went down for some treatment in the first half, and Tia Primmer also had treatment for a knock to the head. Good to see her re-emerge after the break. Shania Hales. Wardlaw sends a looping one for Humphreys to deal with, and Humphreys did not deal with it. Lumsden and Bull having a good old contest. Bull happy to clear her lines. So if you have just joined us, tuning in at half-time, to bring you up to speed, Portsmouth have been the second best in the contest to a surging Newcastle United team. Over the past couple of months, they have been among the teams to beat in WSL 2. And today, so far, proving no different. Lois Joel with the control, as the fans on the far side were singing her name, bringing the ball under control to the sound of Spandau Ballet. Substitute Gold for Joel, and you've got yourself a hit. Cold day on the south coast. Final match before the WSL 2 takes its winter hibernation. Nice break for the players, for the coaches, for the referees and officials. Everybody involved in the league gets a chance to enjoy Christmas. Shania Hales will enjoy it ever more if she could pick out a goal here. Lays the ball off, and Lumsden leaning back could not keep the ball inside the frame of the goal. But a statement of early intent from Newcastle United, who've come out in this second half much as they did the first. Hales with the layoff, and Lumsden, stars in her eyes as that ball rolled across to her. Aiming to pick out the top corner, but just picking out the stand behind the goal. Well, Newcastle clearly felt the ball across the line before it hit the head of Wardlaw. Team of officials disagreed, so Portsmouth will have a throw on this near side with Cohen. And it's out again, and it's another Pompey throw, working the line well. Hornby leaves it for Cohen. Gale wants the ball into feet. Cohen goes over her head instead to find Rowbotham. And now Jessie Gale, who's stood out at points in this season on loan from Arsenal. Ball over the top was for Primmer, but Primmer had taken her eyes off Cohen momentarily. She will have enjoyed the watch in the first 45 minutes, Anna Tamanen. Powerful header from Cohen, getting up above Savenius. Demi Stokes set up the only goal in this game so far, asking a lot of Lumsden down the left-hand side, but enough to win a throw. I've been impressed by that little cluster of Newcastle fans where Demi Stokes is standing right now. I think it's the big guy with the scarf. He's the one leading the chants. He's got a song for every player. Pompey fans yet to have too much to shout about in this final outing of the year. Wardlaw with the quick feet, Nobbs with the through ball, and Hales is in here. And Collins has brought her down. And the referee has a decision to make, a real decision. But the flag, I think, might be up on this near side. There's a lot of pushing and jostling. And what looked like a decision that Amy Fern had to make, as in a last defender tackle denying an obvious goal scoring and potential red card, has become a defensive free kick because the offside flag was up on the near side. That is a lucky escape for Portsmouth. Hales has took a knock for her troubles as well. When she went to ground, she may well have thought, Portsmouth are down to 10 here and we're already a goal to the good. Amy Fern just having a quick word with Portsmouth defender Hannah Cohen. Let's remind ourselves of that. That looks like a last player tackle to me. And the foul was given before Amy Fern spied the flag up on the near side. I think there might have been a little bit of back chat to Amy Fern from Collins. And she is going to her pocket, and it's a yellow card, I think, for what was said, not for the initial tackle. Because there was a moment where it looked like Collins was going to be sent from the field, and I think in that moment something came out of the Portsmouth defender's mouth, and now she's been punished. But there was a long chat with Hannah Cohen from the referee, Amy Fern. Hannah Cohen was saying, wasn't me, it was nothing to do with me. You want to speak to my teammate wearing the number 25, who is still being spoken to by the referee. Needs to button her lip. So all it means is poor old Jess Gray is already feeling a hamstring, has to lump the ball upfield for a second time. Great flat delivery from the Portsmouth goalkeeper, though. It was well dealt with. Flags up for offside, this time against Meg Hornby. Worth pointing out a couple of scores from across the league that impact these two teams. Newcastle have their noses in front as Tamanen gets the ball out to Wardlaw. And Newcastle play their way away from trouble. Sunderland losing 1-0 at home to Ipswich Town. Ipswich bottom of the league. Now what that means is that even though Portsmouth are losing, they won't lose any ground in the table. But if that were to end like that, Ipswich would go to 8 points, just 2 points south of where Portsmouth find themselves. Before today, Ipswich were looking pretty doomed, but that would be a big score that would ultimately affect Pompey down the bottom of the table. And what about up the top of the table? Birmingham City have opened up a 3-0 lead as they look to reel in Charlton, the leaders. And I've just had word that Charlton Athletic are 1-0 down at home to Nottingham Forest. So perhaps automatic promotion is a realistic goal for Newcastle United here. All to play for with half the season remaining in WSL 2, and the rewards are absolutely epic. Place in the top flight. Ava Rowbotham. Portsmouth looking good. Breaking with Bull with the fizz cross and picking out Hornby, who threw everything at the header. But it just seemed like it arrived fractionally too quick for her. Got herself into a brilliant position. Portsmouth's best move of the match. And the diving header went high and wide of the Newcastle goal. Play continues. Pompey thought that one went out. Greta Humphreys comes across to close off the attacking lane to Jordan Nobbs. Lovely footwork from Sophie Barker. Bit more urgency about Portsmouth in the last couple of minutes. Ball has certainly been in Anna Taminen's penalty area a bit more than it was in the first 10 minutes of the first half. Aoife Mannion driving forward from defence. Mentioned the injuries that Portsmouth had suffered this season. We went through the litany of ACLs they've suffered this season. No such problems for Tanya Oxtoby. Welcomed a couple of other players back from injury, and so has depth on the bench to turn to, should it be needed. Portsmouth, by contrast, had to withdraw from a Women's League Cup match earlier this season against Charlton. Charlton were awarded the 3-0 win in that one. Pompey had 9 available players, and at the time, 13 absentees. It's not as bad now as Primmer advances down the left. Hornby wants it behind her. It's good defending from Wardlaw. Confirmation of that Nottingham Forest lead away at top of the table. Charlton. Amy Claypole has got the goal. Humphreys into Rowbotham. Shapes to shoot, but charged down quickly. Newcastle United have decided to sit deeper. Shania Hales is the only player closing down upfield. Wardlaw springs though, pounces on the loose ball and sends one crossfield for Lumsden to chase. Options arriving, pikes up, Nobbs is in there. Cross was looking for Hales. Might still fall for Sevenius. Nobbs with the first time cross, and Hales onto the roof of the net. Brilliantly worked from Newcastle United. They'd settled into a defensive position, and when they sprang forward, Hales was completely unmarked in the middle. 3 goals this season for Shania Hales. Gray again opts against the long ball upfield, rolling the ball to the feet of Humphreys. Woolley's pass asked a little bit too much of Jazz Ball. So scores elsewhere, tightening up the table at both ends, top and bottom, closing up with the leaders losing and the bottom club winning. If we blow the full-time whistle right now, Newcastle United would be within 5 of top of the table Charlton. Jay Sadler has had his substitutes out warming up. Looks like he's ready to roll the dice and make a change. His attempt to work his home side back into the game. Have been better since the break, Portsmouth. But an hour in, the likes of Jessie Woolley playing her first WSL 2 minutes of the season. Other players have been used fairly sparingly. Feels around a natural time to make the change just after the hour mark. Nobbs trying to keep the ball in with a little Cruyff flick. Here comes Stokes again, carrying the ball over halfway. Closely watched by Jessie Gale. Wardlaw. Certainly has an attacking head on her shoulders. Every time the ball comes to her feet, Charlotte Wardlaw, she looks to advance it upfield. Sophie Barker off balance, skews her pass up in the air, but so too does Lois Joel. That is loose from Savenius, and Gale is in on goal and tries to go round the goalkeeper, and Jessie Gale has equalised for Portsmouth. A chance from nothing. Well, just as the substitutes were being prepared, the 11 on the field have cooked up the perfect response. It's a ragged pass from Una Savenius, and Gale couldn't believe her luck. Look at this, the composure to get away from Cooper and to go round Tamanen. And guiding the ball into the empty net. A 5th goal of the season for the Arsenal loanee. What a talent she looks, the teenager.
Substitution for leaving the field, goal scorer number 33, Jessie Gale.
And she will leave the field to a hero's welcome, because as soon as she puts the ball in the back of the net, off she goes, substituted. But what a moment to cherish. So Gale scores the goal and is immediately substituted. Jemima Dahu is coming on for Chloe Woolley. Gale has also gone off. Angelina Nixon is the other substitute. So double substitute for Pompey. And when the change was prepared, it was from a position of being down in the game, and all of a sudden they have parity. And here's one of the two substitutes closing down and pressing from the front, Angelina Nixon, and winning possession. So Portsmouth have made their move, level in the game, and Newcastle United and Tanya Oxtoby are preparing to make theirs as well. With 25 minutes left in this, substitutes going through their final preparations. But it was a goal from nothing. Misplaced pass from Savenia, so costly. And Pompey have got their tails up here. Joel did well to steal the ball away from Nixon there. Nixon adds legs and skill and no little heart to this Portsmouth team. Here she is, trying to get the ball away from Wardlaw. Real belief about Portsmouth all of a sudden. Robotham scrapping for the ball. Barker gets it under Portsmouth control. Primer. Well, the goal just looks like it's taken the wind out of Newcastle's sails here. Seemed like they were in cruise control. Pompey only playing at this level because last season they produced what is still heralded as the Great Escape. They were bottom with 6 games left. Final 6 games, they won 3 and they drew 2 of them to survive the drop in some style as well. Meg Hornby goes to ground and the referee says play on. Gray's clearance is intercepted. And it needed that. Big boot upfield from Collins. Might well come for Primer. It's end-to-end at the moment, and Primer is penalised for handball. So Sunderland take... First substitution of the game for Newcastle United. Molly Pike has been busy in the midfield. And on comes the Newcastle United top goal scorer, Emily Murphy, Ireland international. Averages a goal every 125 minutes in the WSL2. That is a good ratio. And you can see from the hand gestures, the message from the bench, the message from Tanya Oxtoby, we need to settle things down. The team in green, Carmick Kermit. Cooper's defensive clearance, throw into Portsmouth. That's brilliant from Nixon. And she's fed the ball to Robotham, who felt a push in the back from Jordan Nobbs. The fans wanted a penalty. And still do. They're not going to get it because play is up the other end of the field with the substitute Murphy. Lovely trickery to roll her boot over the ball. And the Pompey fans are still furious that they didn't get the penalty shout. My first thought was, looks like a foul, not sure it's in the box. Jordan Nobbs closing down the goalkeeper. And Newcastle have re-engaged the press from the front. Quality from Wardlaw. And again. Cooper. Stokes. Seems a lifetime ago that she got the assist for the opening goal. And the ball is out for a throw on the far side. Let's take another look at this penalty shout for Portsmouth at the other end. Well, it's definitely contact through the back from Jordan Nobbs. I think the contact is outside the penalty area. But if the referee doesn't blow the whistle, it doesn't matter where the contact happens. Well, Jay Sadler has just been cautioned by the referee, Amy Fern, and it's for this sort of conduct, he cannot believe that there was no foul awarded for the push in the back on Ava Robotham. Did look like a foul, also looked like it was outside the penalty box, but either way, they would have taken a free kick at that point. Nothing given to Portsmouth except the yellow card for their manager, Jay Sadler. "20 minutes left in this one, and I think we've got an exciting finish to this game. There is confirmation of the yellow card flashed in the direction of the Pompey boss. Freya Gregory is preparing to come on for Newcastle United, Scotland international. And they're just going to delay the change for Nobbs to send the ball high into the area. Hales is happily standing in an offside position, trying to bamboozle the Pompey back line. Ball fell at the feet of Murphy. Still not dealt with. Nobbs again. Miscued away, and Hales has put it wide. Her best chance of the game. And that could have been the match winner. A game of few clear-cut chances. Nobbs with the ball. The air clearance from Humphreys. And it looked like Hales had provided the final touch, but just the wrong side of the post. Just issue an apology to Greta Humphreys. That was actually Izzy Collins with the big heave-ho clearance. But either way, Portsmouth and their goal leading a charmed existence. Shania Hales missing a gilt-edged chance. Lovely dummy. Lumsden's run around the ball and cuts the ball back, and Hales has missed another one, and at the far post there was a second chance for Newcastle United. And once again, Pompey breathe again. It was the substitute Gregory. Oh, what an impact that would have been off the bench. Cross comes in, Hales helped it on its way, and Gregory from 4 yards out could only steer the ball across the face of the Portsmouth goal. So confirmation, Una Savenius has gone off. That is a winger for a winger. But the two wingers have swapped positions, so Lumsden has come across from the left. She'll play on the right now, and Freya Gregory will take up residence on that far left side. Jemima Dahu. Lovely crisp pass through the lines. Ah, Cruyff turn from Lois Joel. Steering away from danger. That's not bad from Robotham either, though. And now Nixon can advance. Meg Hornby to the edge of the box. Feels the contact, goes to ground, no penalty. But that is a free kick, and, well, once again, the Portsmouth fans voiced their displeasure. A little bit of afters between Nixon and Joel. And it continues. Well, Nixon's was a foul, no doubt. Well, Meg Hornby felt the contact from Stokes and went to ground. Play on, said the referee. I think that was fair because the ball seemed to have gone when Hornby came in, but Newcastle United not happy with that lunging challenge from behind from Angelina Nixon. Lois Joel leading the charge, and it is Lois Joel and Angelina Nixon, both of them shown a yellow card by Amy Fern. So Nixon's yellow card, I think, for the challenge, and Joel has been cautioned for her reaction to the challenge. And Demi Stokes is just showing her experience and leadership here, just trying to calm the situation down. Jazz Bull is there, the two captains. But a game that was already simmering has just come to the boil with 15 minutes left to play. Gregory chases Bull, who has seen the ball out for a goal kick. That's good defending by Jazz Bull. Nixon's introduction has added a bit of spice to this one. She's got goals in her boots, scored an absolute banger against Ipswich earlier this season, was the goal of the month for WSL2 for September. And that's her flick on. She is a powerful presence in the attacking third for Portsmouth and will give that green back line plenty to think about over the next 15 minutes or so. Another flick on from Nixon. Joel with the turn away from Robotham. It's high-paced, and it feels like a winning goal could come from an error. We saw Una Savenius give the ball away for Jessie Gale's equaliser for Portsmouth. Only takes one errant pass. And the way that the game is being played, it's fraught, it's frantic, it's fast. No player out there on the field will be the one wanting to put their name to any error. Newcastle targeting promotion, and the ball is over the top, and Joel is in on goal here. It's a brilliant block challenge, and Lumsden fires one across goal. Options in the middle. Hales was there, Gregory was there. Excellent burst through the midfield from the Welsh number 22. And then Lumsden trying to pick out the bottom corner. Newcastle preparing another substitution over on the far side. Alicia Body is the substitute coming on. And Shania Hales will be the player to make way. And she may well walk off thinking that her name could have been up in lights as the match winner in this one. Such a terrific chance. Just a few moments ago. Air shot clearance. And Hales put the ball the wrong side of Jess Gray's post, and for the second time in the game, poor old Jess Gray is down. It looks again like it's that troublesome right leg. I think it is behind the knee, perhaps a calf muscle. Her kicking has been impacted all afternoon, and this is something that has nibbled away at her for the past few weeks. Perhaps the game plan for Gray, for Portsmouth, for the physios might well be, look, if we can nurse you through to full time here, you've got more than 2 weeks to rest and recuperate. The fear would be if she puts too much load through it and does herself a serious mischief, but
Substitution for Newcastle United, leaving the field number 9, Shania Hales, being replaced by number 6, Alicia Body.
so you don't need me. You heard the PA. There's the confirmation. Shania Hales has gone off, and Alicia Body will come into the midfield for Newcastle United. So how will they shake things up in attack? England under-23 international. Played top-flight football with Leicester when she was just 18 years old. And she knows a thing or two about promotion from this level. Promoted with Bristol City a couple of years ago. Ten minutes to play. Portsmouth and Newcastle can't be separated. Run you through some scores across the league because there's been some changes in the past 10 minutes since the last update. And we'll do it right now. Ipswich 1-0 up away at Sunderland at half-time. Let me tell you, with 4 minutes left to play, Sunderland have flipped it on its head. Jessica Brown, Izzy Atkinson have got the goals, and they lead by 2-1 now. That goal going in just a couple of moments ago. And so Ipswich may well be having a cold, cold Christmas, cut adrift at the bottom of WSL 2. There is the confirmation of the second goal for Sunderland. Charlton have levelled things up, 1-1 against Nottingham Forest. Charlton top of the table, Forest also pushing for promotion. Worth pointing out that Georgia Brome has been sent off for Nottingham Forest in that one. Here comes Jazz Bull down the right-hand side and fizzing across in and testing the goalkeeper, but Tamanen was equal to it. Karen Moyer has got the goal for Charlton. The 1-1 leveller. All-important leveller because Charlton dropped points last time out against Portsmouth. And Birmingham City are trundling to victory at home to Durham. They lead by 3-0. That's a heavy one, and Humphreys will shepherd that one out of play. A reminder, this is the final game of the first half of this WSL season. 22-game season. This is match day 11. And upon completion today, we'll have a good example, a good idea of how the table is shaping up. Anything can happen in a short space of time, and we've seen that in the bottom of the table clash between Sunderland and Ipswich. And here comes Primmer on the attack. And that's a little loose. She was looking to wrap her boot round it to find Meg Hornby. Lumsden with the nutmeg. Through the legs of Hannah Cohen, and then a wonderful delivery. Trying to pick out Nobbs in the middle, and the ball's looped over the goalkeeper. And it's an own goal that may well hand Newcastle all 3 points. Well, we questioned if it may well be an error that settles this one. A pat on the back for Jazz Bull, the captain, who has barely put a foot wrong all day. And she was backpedaling, desperately trying to get the ball away from Jordan Nobbs, but in doing so has looped the ball over her goalkeeper. Like a bull in a china shop, Jazz Bull gifts Newcastle a 2-1 lead. Well, that will sting. It was absolutely brilliant down this near side from Lumsden. The nutmeg on Hannah Cohen, and then a wonderful pass. But it still needed the helping from Jazz Bull. And now Newcastle will go in search of trying to put this one to bed. It's good defending. Sirens outside Wesley Park. I don't think you could say call the cops, there's been a robbery. Newcastle dominated the first half of this one. Pompey came back into it and levelled things up. But on balance, it feels about right. Poor old Jess Gray, pretty much on one leg for most of the afternoon. There was no way she was going to backtrack with that ball spinning over her head. That one's out for a goal kick. Still got 5 minutes plus stoppages, Portsmouth. But a goal like that, well, it can be a gut punch. They've played so well to get themselves back into the contest. Newcastle United have edged the possession, as they have all season. 58% on average across the season. They've had 56 so far in this one. But the shot stats tell a tale. They have doubled Portsmouth's 5 shots, and they have doubled Portsmouth's 1 shot on target, even if it was a Pompey own goal that has their noses in front. Nixon, clever. And Hornby's in round the back. High-skilled player, but that is high-skilled defending. Izzy Collins. Jazz Bull is playing in right wing here. She'll no doubt want to get her team back into this game. Nixon first to the loose ball, showing strength and skill. Well, what a result this will be for Newcastle and their travelling band of fans. Such a long way to come. All the way from the northeast to the very south coast, as Murphy goes too early, offside. And a little nudge on Greta Humphreys for the slide tackle after the whistle had gone.
Substitution for Pompey, leaving the field, number 8, Ava Rowbottom.
Well, an attacking change for Portsmouth, who are going searching for something. In her 5th season with Portsmouth, Emma Jones on for Ava Rowbotham. So more of an attacking change. She'll join Nixon and Hornby in the search of the equalising goal. Collins can only clear out for a throw. 2 minutes of normal time left to play, plus whatever Amy Fern and her team of officials can cook up. Should be about 5. We've had plenty of stoppages, couple of goals, couple of injuries. That's how close Tanya Oxtoby is to extending her perfect start as the Newcastle boss. That is quality from Angelina Nixon, dancing her way out of trouble, and Cohen doing the same. And the through ball might yet fall for Hornby. And Tamanen had to come and come quick. Long ball forward for Murphy to chase. Nobbs is in the middle. Wardlaw is arriving from right back. Freya Gregory's cross has touched a blue shirt, out for a corner. This was half a chance for Portsmouth. Hornby thought she might be able to nip in front of the goalkeeper, but it was smart work by the Finn. Can Newcastle put it to bed? Do they want to put it to bed? Or will they play time? Nobbs to deliver. Lois Joel is on the edge unmarked. It's Murphy's header. And Gray is wasting no time. Final few seconds of the 90. Long ball forward for the substitute Jones to chase, and she's put Cooper under real pressure there.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 6 minutes added time.
6 minutes for Portsmouth. That's a lifetime in a game like this, as Bull has released the ball early, and it's been given, I think, as a foul throw. So while we prepare for the change...
Substitution for Pompey, leaving the field, number 15, Greta Humphreys.
Greta Humphreys going off. Ella Rutherford is coming on.
Number 10, Ella Rutherford.
She has had an important late say in a game this season as the rain comes down on the south coast. Assisted Jessie Gale for a 90th minute winner against Crystal Palace with a clever, quick through ball. That will be the thinking from Jay Sadler. Jazzball sends it forward, and the ball is only just dribbling out of play. Stokes won't be in the biggest rush to take this one.
882. Thank you for all of your brilliant support today.
Well, the rain has really picked up in the last couple of minutes of this one. What has been a pretty dry artificial playing surface will slicken up in the last few seconds of this game. Might suit players like Nixon, who just tried a little bit too much trickery, perhaps. Cohen backpedaling, free kick given to Newcastle United. A yellow card has been shown, I think, to Sophie Barker in the midfield. Yeah, Sophie Barker for the foul. Sophie Barker was sent off in a recent game after being substituted. Long ball forward. Ball drilled upfield by Hornby, who's dropped out of the attack and into a wing-back position to make room for Emma Jones and Angelina Nixon in attack, and both of them have already been involved. This is Tia Primmer, who's won a free kick. Heavy foul from Freya Gregory, who is arguing the toss with the referee, but is going to find her name in the referee's notebook. It's good footwork, this, from Primmer. Quick turn, too quick for Freya Gregory, who is the latest player to be shown a yellow card. And with it, gifting Portsmouth the opportunity to send a set piece in. And here comes the goalkeeper. Jess Gray is up. In American football, this is a Hail Mary. Everybody forward. What a story this could be if the Pompey #1 could get her head on this one. Deep delivery. Green head away. It's a throw-in. Important defending by Wardlaw. Still 2 minutes for Portsmouth. Angelina Nixon will hold up play. She's crowded out though. It's a Newcastle throw. Jess Gray has to hobble all the way back to her goal. That is not the one. When you're a goalkeeper on one leg and you get a late free kick in the game, up you go. It's just skidding off the outside of the boot and back out for a Newcastle throw, and precious seconds draining away. Newcastle United 90 seconds away from ending the year on a high. And that's staying in play, and that's going to give Aoife Mannion something to think about. Tamanen's not messing around, clears her lines. The rain continues to pour on the south coast. Look at that. Thankfully, we've got an all-weather playing surface. Lumsden. Will she look to the corner? Full of running. Great speed to get away from the challenge. Collins is already booked. And Izzy Collins has had a hack. Amy Fern has a bit of a thought here because Izzy Collins was booked for a bit of back chat earlier in the game. And indeed, out comes the second yellow card, and a bad afternoon is getting worse for Portsmouth. Izzy Collins is sent off for a second bookable offence. Christmas cards for the Portsmouth number 25, and I don't think she can have a single quibble. And it's a long walk, a trudge. And we have played the 6 added on. You would imagine this will be the final action of what's been an absorbing game of football. Newcastle United have committed precisely no one to the penalty area for this. Freya Gregory is marking out the 10 yards for Meg Hornby to keep away. Newcastle's plan is clear. Just run it to the corner. But now, all of a sudden, Gregory is available in the box if they wanted to whip it. It was Beth Lumsden who was marking out the 10 yards. Murphy wants the corner. She has won a corner. So that is job done for Newcastle. And Hornby can sprint the ball to the corner. But there's not going to be much time left on this, not much meat left on the bones. Three of them shielding the ball. And that is it for 2025 in the WSL2. Newcastle United end on a winning high, and Portsmouth are left feeling blue. A really costly own goal by Jazz Bull. The game had the feeling of being one that would be settled by a mistake. And it was the own goal that looped over the head of Jess Gray in the Portsmouth goal that handed Newcastle all 3 points. But for them, it is a third league win in a row. They maintain their steady pressure on the top 3 in the WSL2. Their fans that have made that long, long journey south will be asking, are we in this? Is there a chance at automatic promotion? I think at the halfway stage in the WSL2, you would have to say, you bet. They have done the job at Wesley Park. It's ended Portsmouth 1, Newcastle United 2. Well, it's a bit of a trudge off the field for Portsmouth after what will feel like a fairly desperate end to their final game of the calendar year. They were in this game courtesy of Jessie Gale's equaliser, cancelling out Jordan Nobb's opening goal, but the celebrations go to the team in green. And you see the little one in there, that is Tanya Oxtoby's little one, the Newcastle United manager. Part of the reason she wanted to return to the UK rather than Northern Ireland, where she was the national manager. Be closer to the family, bring the unit together, and look at that. That is a family unit right there. Newcastle United had to dig deep, but ultimately got the result courtesy of Jasmine Bull's own goal. A desperate feeling for the Portsmouth captain, but what a feeling that must be for that ring of joy in Newcastle away green. They have got the job done, and they are knocking on the door of automatic promotion. Well, there are the match stats. It's hard to argue that Newcastle weren't worth the victory. More than double the shots of Portsmouth and double their shots on target as well. But they were, in truth, as busy defensively as Portsmouth were. 10 interceptions to Portsmouth's 6, and both of them winning 17 tackles at the back. Newcastle just a little bit cleaner with their passing and ultimately providing more key passes. Perhaps the most key pass was Beth Lumsden's long raking pass that led to that all-decisive own goal from Jazz Bull. And as the rain continues to pour, let's have a little look at the rest of the scores from another busy Barclays WSL2 Sunday. In the earlier game, Sheffield United beaten at Bramall Lane 2-0 by Southampton. Birmingham City have maintained their push for automatic promotion. 3-0 winners at home to Durham. Charlton Athletic actually came from a goal down against Nottingham Forest. Forest had a player sent off, and Charlton nabbing all 3 points to maintain their lead at the top of the WSL2. And down at the bottom, also coming from behind to win, Sunderland. A goal down at half-time against the bottom club, Ipswich, handing them a 2-1 defeat to leave Ipswich cut adrift at the bottom. And so that is almost all we've got time for. Before we leave you, we will show you the best of the action from the last 90 minutes, and there was some terrific action. Look at that little hip swivel from Demi Stokes early in the first half. Her cutback lashed in by Jordan Nobbs, putting Newcastle United 1-0 up. Scored in their last league outing against Southampton, and had an earlier sighter in this game, put that one over the top, but was not going to make the same mistake twice. Cleanest of strikes from the England international. Pompey probed, and Ava Robotham spread the play out to Jazz Bull on that far side, and Hornby threw everything at it but couldn't quite steer her header on goal. WSL2's Player of the Month for November. If this was November, that would have smashed into the top corner, but that cross came in with some heat on it. In the second half, a loose one from Una Savenius, gifted one to Jess Gray, but she had, Jess Gale I should say, but she had so much still to do. Rounding the goalkeeper and levelling things up. The teenager on loan from Arsenal. Couldn't believe her luck. Portsmouth have been struggling to fashion chances, but when the pass fell at the feet of the Arsenal youngster, she showed that she is an absolute bag of talent, and there was nothing that Cooper could do on the line. Immediately substituted. Her number was already up when the goal went in. Gale went off for Angelina Nixon, who's on the ball here, and was a real headache for the Newcastle back line. Cut the ball back for Robotham, who felt Jordan Nobbs pushing her in the back. Pompey fans, Robotham and her teammates screaming for a penalty that never came. On second look, certainly contact from Jordan Nobbs. I think the contact came outside the box. Jay Sadler, the Pompey boss, was incensed. He got shown a yellow card for his reaction. Hornby also felt contact. That was definitely in the box. Not sure it's enough to bring up a penalty. And Angelina Nixon, with the sliding tackle in response, drew the ire of Lois Joel. There was a bit of a shoving match on the field after this one. Just sliding through the back of Emily Murphy. And then late in the game, Beth Lumsden's raking crossfield pass was looking for Nobbs, but it was Jazz Bull who got the final touch and looping over her own goalkeeper into the back of her own net and handing Newcastle United the 2-1 victory and all 3 points. Pretty desperate for poor old Jazz Bull, the Portsmouth captain, and neither side now plays for a fortnight. They've got the winter break, they've got Christmas to enjoy, but I think the team that travelled a long, long way from the northeast will enjoy the turkey and all the trimmings ever so slightly more than Jay Sadler's Pompey. Thank you for watching. That is all from me, Chris Latcham, and all the team, Millie Payne, our reporter, and all of our camera operatives and directors at the WSL2. We will look forward to seeing you again in 2026. Do enjoy your Christmas, won't you?